This is the CHRILLCAST. I'm Chris.
Will.
And I'm Chad, the gaming dad.
And before we get into OEB Pete for Tuber Tuesday, Chad, what's your channel like? What do you do?
I like to cover video games, and it just is, honestly, the stuff that I cover is more of whatever I'm into. I'm kind of like the kind of guy that I always say that I just kind of have attention deficit when it comes to video games. I'll play them for a few hours and switch and switch and switch. So it just is kind of like a stream of consciousness what I'm doing there. So you get a mixed bag. You get some new stuff, some old stuff. But going forward, I'm going to try to primarily kind of go back a little bit and do a lot more retro. But if something else jumps up and I look at it and I feel like talking about it, I'll throw it up there.
Very cool. And if you guys don't remember Chad, we reviewed him with John Black from Fort Atlantic about, 3 months ago now? 4 months ago?
Yeah, I think so.
And John has been a subscriber of Chad since then. So, he did something right when we reviewed him. We got some new subscribers in there.
Yeah, but, I did. I did see a bunch. Yeah.
For those of you that are newer to the channel and didn't watch the Chad the Gaming Dad review, he's at 1,950 subscribers. So if 10% of you could go subscribe, he'd hit that nice 2K, and maybe we get some cool Chad the Gaming Dad special out of it.
Yeah, I already have a great idea for my special, and I'll unveil it here. It's a world exclusive. Once I hit the 2,000, I mean, it's kind of like it's also sort of a, when you watch TV and then they get to that one episode where they just didn't want to make one and they put all the clips from the previous episodes in. It's kind of going to be like that, but the reason why is because I've been around for almost 6 years, and some of my personal favorite videos on my channel, people didn't see. I've got a lot more subscribers now than I did 6 years ago. So I'm going to make like a compilation of a bunch of greatest hits that maybe you missed and stuff. So there's some cool stuff in there. My personal favorite one is the one where I go to Cedar Point and I take you from the newest stuff they have there all the way into the back of the park where they have things from like the turn of the century. So I loved that video, but it was a while ago. So stuff like that. Yeah.
And you guys don't need to go back and watch our old videos. Will would actually prefer you don't.
Definitely don't do that. No.
Yeah. I don't love all the old videos. There's just some that are that I would like to highlight. That's all.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So
fair
the
enough.
first criticism I heard on the first video we did was that I had a 1,000-yard stare, and all I did was stare into the camera. And it's totally true. So now I have to purposely look away, because at first I was like, oh, this will make a connection with the audience if I look in the camera. No, that's super creepy.
There's a guy on YouTube that plays piano. Have you seen him? And he sits there and
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Oh no, did we lose Chad?
He just sits there and says nothing. Doesn't play the piano at all.
Uh-oh.
Awesome. Yeah, so cool. We're back then. Sorry.
I think it'd be even funnier if I just cut the audio there and you're just staring, because that's what it looked like.
Mm-hmm.
You're like this guy with the piano, and he's. And then...
That was perfect.
You could just show the sun go down, and then it comes back up, and then I'll be cut back to this, and I go, so yeah, you got to watch that guy. He's really great. He plays his awesome music channel.
Yeah.
And
anyway, so today for Tuber Tuesday, we're covering a kind of a personal new favorite of mine, in Open Every Box Pete, or OEB Pete, as his channel name would be described as. And as soon as you're done subscribing to Chad the Gaming Dad, go and subscribe to OEB Pete, youtube.com/OEBPETE. Open Every Box Pete.
Well, I think everyone knows how this review is going to go. It means you're telling them to subscribe already.
Well, if you don't like what we have to say, then obviously don't do it. But, subscribe now. Give him that subscriber, a little boost. And then if you change your mind, whatever.
Don't unsubscribe, though.
Yeah, just keep him in there. Anyways.
Yeah.
So Tommy is from our segment yesterday, our 2-hour segment yesterday. Holy cow, we did 2 hours on a Monday. I hope you guys took the time to watch that, because I'm sure OEB Pete will watch that and comment. And OEB Pete, you better go watch that and comment now before you watch this video. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But we're going to be reviewing his channel. So before we get into the entire channel and our thoughts, I always give the stats and rattle off a little bit about him. So OEB Pete currently has 1,320 subscribers. His channel was created on July 18th, 2019. And he currently has, I'm going to update the view count from my script to what it actually is, which is 130,722 views. The description for his channel says, "Hi, my name is Pete. Are you a fan of Intellivision Amico, Evercade, modern gaming, or anything in between? Well, this is the positive channel for you. I'm an avid retro game collector who dabbles in comics, movies, and Funko Pops. I love talking about all things pop
Love 'em
culture
already.
and gaming, and I'm dedicated to bringing positive vibes to YouTube any way I can. I publish
YouTube is not a place for you then.
I publish collecting videos, reviews, let's plays, and weekly news shows on Intellivision, Amico, and Evercade. I publish daily videos and host weekly podcasts around Amico and modern gaming. I respond to comments daily, and oops, we lost Chad.
Lost him again. That was just two of me again.
Well, I'll just
This is the best part of the week.
I publish daily videos and host weekly podcasts around Amico and modern gaming. I respond to comments daily and cannot wait to meet you and chat about our common interests. If this kind of content is something you think you may enjoy, then please take a moment to subscribe so that you don't miss any great original content.
Done. I'm already subscribed.
Did you?
Yes.
I love this guy. I watch him all the time now. Let's see here. We'll get Chad back, but in the meantime, I'll just keep reading. So, what OEB Pete is known for? Discussing his gaming collection, legacy games and new games, discussing more niche systems like the Amico and the Evercade. Niche.
Don't say niche. Don't do it.
Whatever, dude. And then being one of the most positive channels on YouTube in the gaming space. If you don't believe me, you can go to the video we had yesterday where Tommy Tallarico gave major props to OEB Pete. And we have Chad back, so even
I am back.
So after we rattle off the stats, we go and look at the oldest video on the channel we're reviewing's channel. So let's go. What is his oldest video? Open every box #1. Toys R Us Funko Pop surprise.
Remember that store?
Yeah, Toys R Us. It existed for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Mine literally is one of those Halloween ones now.
Oh, really?
It actually turned into the meme.
Oh, no.
That's awesome.
So this is just him doing his unboxing and commentary on Funko Pop surprise from Toys R Us. Curious what he got. I'm gonna skip to the end. Sorry, OEB. I don't have time for this video to actually watch 6 minutes worth of video. I apologize. We can't do what I did with Be Aware of the Scare, where I literally watched.
I know you were so zoned out.
20 minutes of a video during a 2-hour review of like 20 channels. That was a bad idea. But this is cool. Looks like he's got a Batman one. Let's see. I guess he doesn't open it on camera. Interesting. Okay, so he's just showing us all the Funko Pops and talking about them. All right, back to his channel. What's his most popular video? What do you think it's about? You can have 3 CHRILLCAST cash credits, which are worth nothing, if you guessed Amico, because I'm pretty positive it's about the Amico. Or it could be the Hori Split Pad Pro versus the Satisfied Pro Grip. I bet you didn't guess that was going to be it. So I'm very interested in this video. I did watch it because he's talking about the Split Pad Pro. I actually think I saw this video before I subscribed later on because I was so interested in the Split Pad Pro, and his was one of the reviews that came up for it. Have you guys seen the Split Pad Pro for the Switch yet?
Yeah, I saw it. It's kind of interesting because you always need some spare Joy-Cons, and so you get them with that and a way to hold it. Because unless you're a little kid, it is tough without some kind of grips on there.
I'm not the biggest fan of the standard Joy-Con, so I do have a Pro Controller for when I play docked. I do not play Joy-Cons when I don't play docked, unless I have to play a co-op or 2-player game with Will, and then I will default.
I appreciate you giving me the Pro Controller because I don't have the biggest hands ever, but man, it is hard to hold a normal controller.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. So he did a really good review of both the Split Pad Pro and the Satisfied Pro Grip, something that you could really relate to as a gamer. So I appreciate that he did this. I don't know a lot of people doing the comparisons on the grips. They usually just review one grip at a time. So it is cool to see this kind of video. So what do we want to talk about next? We want to talk about things we like about Open Every Box Pete's channel. Some things that we think he's doing very well. Do you want to go first, Chad, or should I?
I'll go first real quick. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to just sort of echo what Tommy had said on the yesterday's show, where he's just really positive. He has it's fun to watch because he's not just complaining about everything like a lot of things. I mean, sometimes there are things that you need to complain about, but some channels, they just get into that zone where it's like, let's all sit around and bash something, and this guy doesn't do that. So it's a lot more fun to watch, especially if you're just relaxing. You know, you want to hear about something, and I'm not surprised that his big video is a comparison like that, because a lot of people want to know if that's good or not. So I mean, it's not everybody goes and buys both of them, you know. So I think he's doing good work.
This
Definitely.
is his joke of a complaining video, by the way. It's really hilarious to watch because he starts out the video with, "I'm furious that the Amico comes with 2 controllers." He's just getting mad about stupid things. It's
Get
funny.
the burning embers going there.
Oh yeah, I
that.
like it.
But yeah, if you ever want to see OEB Pete mad or faking being mad, here's a video for you. Go watch his April Fool's video. It's pretty funny. But yeah, I echo everything you've just said about him. I love the fact that he's very positive. He's very community oriented too, which a lot of these smaller YouTubers are not community oriented. They're not willing to go above and beyond to react and comment and reply to the community they've built. And a lot of times you don't understand your community. He understands his community very well. He knows that it's Amico fans. He knows that it's the Evercade fans and a lot of retro gaming fans. So he definitely points a lot of his content towards those subjects. But also, his PM in the PM podcast is just fun because if he sees a thing in the chat, he highlights it, brings it up on screen, and then they discuss it and they add that subject to their topics. So it works out really great because if you're like me and you come up with a lot of great ideas for a podcast, he'll take your question and turn it into one of their extra topics. So
Cool.
kudos to Chris from the CHRILLCAST for actually getting subjects into the PM and the PM podcast, you know. Pete, you got to have me on sometime when we can figure out some timing.
Yeah.
But
Hint.
he already reached out to me. He said, "You need to come on." I was like, "I do, but we got to find a time I can actually do it."
About time you had a good idea.
So what are Will, do you have anything you want to say about
Yeah, honestly, I'm just echoing the same thing. I love the positivity. I mean, I was actually thinking about this is the people who I'm subscribed to. Most of them like live off negativity. I'm thinking like perfect example of this is Angry Joe. I love watching his videos, but like the whole idea of his videos is he gets really mad. So like, you watch those videos to see him get really upset at a video game. But, yeah. It's just nice to have like a channel or two where they're not like that. And you know, Pete obviously fits that bill. I also appreciate how you said that he knows his audience really well, and he knows that a lot of people like the Amico on his channel. If you look at his banner, he's actually holding the controller. It's really nice little nod there. Yeah, so I like the positivity, and I just like the overall flow of his videos.
I want to preface this. I found OEB Pete's channel through that game test play video I was telling you guys about. The one we talked about with Tommy on the previous episode, game test play.
Yeah.
And it was,
I really liked it. This video was hysterical, by the way.
This video right here, yeah. He criticizes Tommy. He criticizes OEB Pete a little bit, and he criticizes another guy who just like kind of crapped on the Amico and why he was canceling his pre-order and this and that. And this video is great, game test play. I highly recommend you check out this video. Tommy was completely open to the criticism. He appreciated the humor the guy had, and that's how I found OEB Pete. So Pete, you owe this guy my subscription because I never would have found you without him. But back to OEB Pete, I love his graphics because it literally matches up with like his face a little bit and pretty well the graphic does. And I love his banner because it's happily collecting video games, Funko Pops, and memories. And anytime you hear the word happy in gaming, I always think of Happy Console Gamer, who's another very positive person. So he's building a happy and positive audience on YouTube, and there's not that many people doing it. And I love the fact that he's doing it. And that's what we strive to do. We try not to be very negative. We try to be a positive light in the community on our podcast as well. So OEB
until Face Off Friday.
Well, that's not even negative. Not really
humor
negative.
Negative in a humorous way, like Angry Joe sometimes is fun.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
So I mean, you can do that too, and plus with him anyway, I like watching when they're just laughing, having a good time playing something, especially if it's maybe a bad game and they laugh about stuff. So
I don't mean negative. I'm fine being negative about a game or something if it deserves it, but we try to be positive in the community, right? You know what I mean? Like I guess that's what I'm trying to say. We're not being shills that are always positive. We're being positive in the community. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And OEB Pete, he tries to highlight the things he loves, and I love that about him. So, what are some things we think OEB Pete can improve? I can go first if you guys would like.
Yeah, sure.
So the thing I think he could really do well with is some more flow to his thumbnails. They are all over the place. I always know it's him because his thumbnails are, you can tell it's an OEB Pete thumbnail. It's very clearly an OEB Pete thumbnail. But when I look at these thumbnails, it's like there's no consistency.
Yeah. No.
And I think if he could come up with like a consistent, either a border or consistent font style amongst it, at least for the series he does, like PM and the PM, I think he's got a lot of similar thumbnails, but not always the same. So I just think his thumbnails could really, really spruce up his channel a lot. And I know he does a ton of videos, so it might be difficult to do that, but I think it would help him quite a bit if he spruced up his thumbnails.
I was always told to try to make a border or something that is like your stamp on each one.
Mm-hmm.
And I think of it kind of like, I saw a video recently about just game boxes. I think it was Scott the Woz.
Yep.
Yeah, and how he was showing how, I don't know, I have this, not trying to, but I just got this game. But you know it's a PS4 game because it's got the thing around it.
Mm-hmm.
They all have the same border, the same little logo. So I mean, if you see mine, I do that with my logo down in the corner with the same color around it every time. The pictures change, but if you're just scrolling through your subscriptions and you see that border and like anytime I do a phone run, I always have that same.
Yep.
You know it's one of my reviews because it's got that white triangle. Anything else that I talk about, I at least have the thing down in the left corner. So if you're scrolling through, you know it's mine. So
and like ours, if you see the shrimp, shrimp, you know it's us.
Yeah.
Yep.
That helps. I mean, because when you get a lot of stuff and you're scrolling through, and you see that, it catches your eye. That's what I said. They taught me that. Guys that I learned from early taught me that. So
I will say this: look, you can get a preview on the Skyrion. Oh no, the Skyrion stuff will be out by the time this releases.
Preview for Chad, but nobody else.
Preview for Chad. You get to see it before everybody else.
Cool.
But we went through a rebrand recently, and I've noticed that our views are better than I expected. It does kind of depend. Yeah, they're more consistent. We're getting better consistency in our views. That's for sure since we've rebranded. But before that, like everybody's like, oh, it's two guys and a shrimp. What is this even about? Like, so now the shrimp is more
it's a cooking show.
Is more of the lesser subject, but it helps you know it's part of the same series. And then the subject itself highlights the screen rather than half the screen being taken up by mine and Will's faces.
Well, and a lot of people don't use the yellow, so that jumps out against everybody else's. Like mine's blue. There's a lot of blue ones. But that one, for what you guys are doing, I'm not surprised that it's starting to pop more because, I mean, just look at the screen. You can see each box individually without even having to look. So.
And we started with yellow too, by the way. Well, no, we didn't. That's also not true. We started with some. Pete, if you want to see some interesting thumbnails, we started with. Ones. Yeah, they have their own charm, but then we rolled into yellow. We did yellow for a while like this, and then eventually we changed to the gray, and then we started to notice the grays just blend in with everything. So that's why we swapped back to yellow and we changed it up completely. So. Rebranding thumbnails, it'll hurt you for a minute, and then once people realize what you've done, the thumbnails being branded will only help you going forward once people figure out that you are branding differently than you used to. And I highly recommend to anybody watching this video who's trying to start YouTube, come up with a good branding right out the get-go that's solidly you, but also doesn't get in the way of the subject material of your videos. Like Chad the Gaming Dads is really good. He's got his symbol in every corner of his videos. And then, like you said, his series Fun or Run has the corner spot. And then the subject of his video takes up the most space. A lot of people put their own branding too big in the middle of the screen when they start. And that does hurt you because if nobody knows who you are, your branding doesn't mean anything.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But once they know who you are and they see your videos, seeing that logo will keep them coming back. And
honestly, the corner thing is from some of the channels that I like the most. So... somebody very famous one time told me that, you just steal from the best and then you can be good too. So if you see something that's working great for somebody, make it your own. Don't do exactly the same thing. But I'm like, I always notice that top corner. So maybe I'll make one too.
I will say this, Pete, as you go along, your comfortability in front of the camera is very clearly getting better. You are definitely way more comfortable in front of the camera than when you started, and you're only going to get better. So what are our predictions for his channel?
I'll go first. I think he's going to go a lot bigger, especially once the Amico's out and it starts to become something that people aren't just doing negative things about. Once people realize that it is cool and they get it in their house and they play it and it does what Tommy says it's going to do, then all of a sudden he'll be like the premier guy for that, you know?
He's already one of the premier Evercade guys.
Yeah.
So how many subs will he have at the end of the year?
What's he at now? 1,400?
1320, but I'm getting there,
yeah. By the end of this year, probably getting closer to 2,000 maybe, because the system's not coming out till next year. But once it comes out, that's going to probably boost him a ton.
Hey, don't forget, Tommy's dropping what the physical media is in December. That could really help Pete.
That might help him a ton too, especially if he's got little things to show.
Well, Tommy does constantly drop little drips of information into OEB Pete's channel, so I think he's got a good chance at 2K by the end of the year.
Me too. Yeah, I think that's an easy goal.
And when the system launches, I wouldn't be surprised if he hit 5K pretty quick after that.
A lot of searches will go straight to him.
Yeah, exactly, because he is kind of the premier Amico channel besides Intellivision.
Yeah.
And then besides him, there are some other big channels that have covered it, like Rich from Review Tech USA has covered it. So his channel, his video is one of the first ones to pop up, followed by OEB Pete and Smash JT. So these guys are all really cool channels, but go subscribe to OEB Pete. He needs some more subscribers. And one little known fact about him, I'm just going to end this on this note. He does donate a lot of the money he makes on YouTube to charity, if not all of it. I don't know the exact number, but it's the children's hospitals he donates to. So very cool dude. I really appreciate the fact that he's on YouTube. So very positive, and he's not trying to make money off for himself, his own individual profit. And if he hits 2K by the end of the year, he's going to give away an Evercade system. So even more incentive for you guys to subscribe.
Nice.
Anything else? Any last thoughts?
No, I think he's doing well.
Yeah, me too.
All right. Well, as always, I'm Chris.
Will.
And I'm Chad the Gaming Dad.
And we will see you
on the next CHRILLCAST. Bye, guys.